Presumption of a surviorship of death. Frequently, a situation would arise when a person P is missing, and it cannot be determined whether he is alive or dead. In many of these situations, many people would be interested in proving that P is alive. Many others would be interested in proving the reverse. Hypothetical case study. A P is very rich man living with his wife W without any children. He has a brother B who is living away from him. P has written a will saying that in extent of his death, his property would be equally divided among W and B. One day he goes out to swim in a fast moving river and never returns. His body is not found in the river. No corpus delicti. W assumes control of the property, does not allow it access to B. Since death is not proved, B's will cannot be executed. This is a situation where B is interested in proving that P is dead, so his will can be executed and he gets a share. While W is interested in proving that P is still alive as she continues to have hold over the property. The question is whether P is really dead or alive in a legally sense. In such a situation, law presumes survivorship or death according to certain guidelines. This is known as a presumption of survivorship and death. Section 107 Indian Evidence Act, a perception of survivorship. When the question is whether a man is alive or dead, and it is shown that he was alive within 30 years, the burden of proving that he is dead is on the person who affirms it. W can take advantages of this section after, say, 3 years, moves court asserting that P is dead and the property should be equally divided. It is an undisputable fact that P was alive 3 years back. According to Section 107 Indian Evidence Act, the court presumed P is alive. He was alive within the last 30 years. This is known as presumption of survivorship. And it is B's responsibility to prove that he is dead. He has to produce B's dead body and bones on some such other indisputable fact of P's death are also known as corpus delicti. If P cannot do so, will not be executed. Will cannot be executed. Situation changes after 7 years because Section 108 would become operable. Section 107. Section 107 deals with the survivorship. Section 108. 107 is a presumption of a survivorship. Section 107 deals with the survivorship. Section 108, this presumption of death. When the question is whether a man is alive or dead, it is proved that he has not been heard for 7 years by those who naturally have heard of him. If he had been alive, the burden of proving that he is alive is shifted to the person who affirms. If B after say 8 years brings the same suit, the situation changes. It is again an undisputable fact that P was alive 8 years back. According to 107 of Indian Evidence Act, the court still presumes he is alive because he was alive within the Indian last 30 years, and it is the B's responsibility to prove that B is dead. But now he can invoke Section 108 of the Indian Evidence Act. During last 7 years, P should have met his wife, his business associates, which he has not. So the court now presumes that P is dead. Presumption of death. Now the responsibility of proving that P is alive shift to W. In similar situations above, insurance companies do not need to pay if the person was alive within last 30 years, 107. But after 7 years of disappearance, they would have to prove that he is alive. Otherwise, they will have to pay. Section 108 Indian case study. Indian soldier Muhammad Arif was captured by Pakistani Rangers during the Kargil War on Section 1799. 10 days before going for war, he had married a 19-year-old girl, Gudia. When Arif did not return, Gudia married Tawfiq on April 20, 2003 because she thought Arif had died. Arif was released by Pakistani authorities in 2004. When he returned to India, a legal and social dilemma arose, which would with whom should Gudia live? Both Tawfiq and Maria Arif wanted Gudia. Gudia wanted to live with Tawfiq. A village panchayat ruled that Gudia must return to Arif because she had not divorced her. Therefore, her marriage to Tawfiq was not legal. If this case is viewed in the light of section 108, it becomes clear that Arif had to be presumed alive for at least 7 years after his disappearance, and Gudia could not have legally remarried. Furthermore, according to Hindu Marriage Act, if a Hindu girl marries within this period, a second marriage is null and void. Gudia was a Muslim girl, though the marriage did not apply to her. Although the village panchayat does not seem to have taken into consideration section 108A, the decision seems to accordance with this section. Gudia later died on January 2006. Australian Prime Minister Harold Holt disappeared on December 9, 1967 while swimming. His body was never found. Contrary to law, he had to presume dead in order to prevent a constitutional crisis. An acting Prime Minister was sworn into office. In the normal circumstances, according to Indian law, one who had to wait for 7 years to establish legally that he was dead. Fugue. Both section 107 and 108 assumes importance in cases of fugue, where a person forgot his identity and flees from home for years together. Thank you.